What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Recording. I'm having a wonderful day. If you are, make sure you leave a like on this video and you click that red subscribe button down below the video. It'll really be the only way you ever get notified when I upload. Now, I've been traveling or covering the Johnny Depp situation on this channel for quite some time, and I feel like I've been fair in saying that I'm sure that based on, everything that's come out, that he behaved poorly in his marriage. What does that have to do with him doing his job, playing Captain Jack Sparrow, or Grindelwald and in Fantastic Beasts? Absolutely nothing. I think my primary annoyance has been the unfair treatment, the cancelization and blacklisting of only one part of a two-party mess that included his ex AH. Now, it's probably true that if Johnny had protected himself with a VPN, like private internet access, none of this would have happened. That said, if you don't have a VPN, one of this channel's most important sponsors is private internet access. They have a absolutely massive discount that's ending soon. I think it's like 80+% off. If you sign up using the link in the description or pinned comment down below, it allows you to browse anonymously, to stream movies that are region locked, to keep your data away from big tech, and a much, much more. Protect your phones, your tablets, and your PCs with private internet access. It's a win-win-win. You support a sponsor that supports the channel, you protect your PCs, everybody wins. So after the video, check that out. Now, there's a new article, Johnny Depp addresses cancel culture. No one is safe, not one of you. Johnny was only meant to be asked questions relating to his career during a press conference preceding the, Donostia Awards reception at the San Sebastian Film Festival. But in response to one journalist's bold attempt to parse the actor's thoughts on so-called cancel culture and how social media can affect public figures, Depp did not hold back. Depp declared that it was a complex situation because it can be seen as an event in history that lasted for however long it lasted. This cancel culture, or instant rush to judgment, based on essentially what amounts to polluted air, that is, he let out a gust of breath, exhaled, on whether or not he feels safe in such an interconnected world. Depp replied that, yes, I do, followed by several false starts before contradicting himself. The various movements that came out with, I'm sure, had the best of intentions. He's basically roasting Me Too and all these things. Trailing off a bit. Presumably, he's looking for the right words. He shifted a bit, expressing that in his opinion, it's so far out of hand now that I can promise you that no one is safe. Not one of you. Not one of you, as long as someone is willing to say one sentence. It takes just one sentence, and there is no more ground. The carpet has been pulled. He's 100% right. I mean, a lot of us know cancel culture in the context of it being celebrities or internet influencers who said the N-word 7 years ago, but it also hits everyday people. We've seen construction workers get canceled over it. Remember I think it was an electric worker that was signaling that everything was okay, and then some Karen tried getting the guy fired and was ultimately successful. It's this cancel culture is really driven by two things, I believe. I've been studying it, reporting on it for many years now, and I do feel that I am uniquely qualified to speak on it. Cancel culture is first and foremost about power. It's about power for people who, in most cases, have very little power in their own life. Or even if they have actual power, they feel powerless. It makes them, the ability to ruin somebody else's life allows them to spend less time focusing on their own failures, their own lack of power, their own moral shortcomings, and use somebody else's as a cloak to avoid feeling the dread that they themselves are not perfect, and that maybe things haven't gone their way in their life isn't anybody else's fault but their own. There is this need this inherent desire for humans to feel superior, morally superior to their peers, present in one particular group of people. We see this with the way people react to the poke. I've been very clear on my channel that I have no opinion on what you do. If you don't get it, or if you get it, my only ask is that you enjoy my videos and you leave a like on them and you subscribe. I don't tell you what to do with your own bodies. That would be insane. But there is this weird morality high that comes from dragging others down. I've talked about in the past, there's a story about a farmer walking down a pier, a fisherman walking down a pier, seeing a bunch of crab fishermen placing crabs in buckets without tops on. And he asks, why don't you put a top on them? Well, they don't need to, because the other crabs in the bucket are always pulling the escaping crabs down. And that's why I often say it's like crabs in a bucket. People upset with their own lives, their own shortcomings, want company. Misery loves company for the digital era. And it's especially volatile, effective on public figures. Now, of course, Depp and his ex are embroiled in the fallout of a very public split. Depp is currently suing his ex after she wrote a 2018 op-ed essentially calling him a monster. She didn't name Depp in the ad, but obviously everyone knew it was him. By the way, she also has been locked up for doing this very thing to her ex-girlfriend or fiance, but nobody cared about that. When a woman hits another woman, nobody cares. It's somehow different. She should, by these same standards, have been canceled years ago when that happened. In San Sebastian, the actor did not only lament for himself. It's not just me this happened to, he said, alluding to, but not directly stating what was happening to him. It's happening to a lot of people. This type of thing has happened to women, to men, to children who have suffered from various types of unpleasantries, and they're sadly, at a certain point, begin to think it's normal. I believe that if you're armed with the truth, then that's all you need. It doesn't matter if a judgment has taken some artistic license. He chuckled, perhaps referencing his unsuccessful bid to overturn a judge's ruling in the UK libel case. Finishing his answer, he pleaded with the assembled press and those watching online. When there is an injustice, whether it's against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up, don't sit down. Don't sit down. They need you. One more question about Depp's off-screen issues was raised by a reporter who immediately reminded Depp that he only had a press conference to discuss his career and the prize he was receiving in Spain. The question had referenced an ongoing protest by a group of Spanish women filmmakers that was launched the day Depp's festival honor was announced. Offered another chance to ask a question about Depp's career, the journalist declined and the conference moved on. You know, Johnny Depp is probably the most high-profile cancellation to date. You know, for a nothing burger, a bad marriage. You know, there are many YouTubers, Jenna Marbles, essentially self-canceled over some old jokes that nobody was offended by. And then there's so many people, you know, the guy from Honest Trailers, who, yeah, he had an affair, big deal. But the industry painted him as an absolute monster. He lost everything, Andy Signor. Pro Jared, you know, I learned a lot covering this over the years to be a little, you know, while covering it, being less quick to judge in hopes that my viewers will also be less quick to judge, less quick to be absolutely certain that somebody is in deserving need of being quote unquote canceled. And as Fantastic Beasts 3 reveals its title, I have very little interest in seeing it because without Johnny Depp, and honestly, like, Fantastic Beasts isn't that good, okay? But I kind of invested in it because I've seen a few of them. But without Johnny Depp in it, you know, and the way that he was removed, and I love Mads Mikkelsen. I don't blame him for taking the role, and I think he'll do great. But for me, it's not the same. Just like I will never support any Pirates of the Caribbean with some other random Jack Sparrow. If he had quit on his own volition, that would have been totally different. But he was blacklisted for essentially exhibiting the exact same behavior or in many cases less bad than his ex, yet only one of them was removed. Keep that in mind as you get embroiled in a lot of these cancellation conversations, and try to slow down a little bit, and because I think Johnny's situation really taught all of us that there are many angles, many sides to these type of scenarios. They're fluid, they're ever changing, and we don't have all the information. Remember how everyone felt when those audio recordings came out of his ex? She sounds like a monster. You never would have heard that from the press if those recordings weren't leaked. So, I'm not going to simp for the guy. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. He'll be fine. But I will do my best to continue to focus on and educate and try to level out the intensity of these cancellation attempts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like and that you subscribe using the red subscribe button down below. After it, make sure you pick up your private internet access, and we'll talk to you again real soon.